We've all been there. It's 2 a.m., you just finished the last page of your book, closed the cover, and now you're wrecked. Or elated, shocked, frustrated, distraught, or maybe a combination of so many emotions you can't put a name to what you're feeling.
But there's an ache in your chest, and all you want to do is turn to someone who knows what you just went through, who you can talk about that favorite scene with, swap theories about the sequel, gush over the hottie your main character landed.
You might try to explain it to your significant other, suggest the book to a colleague, or swap a couple surface-level thoughts with a friend who read it years ago. But there's no one who truly gets it. No one who will tear each moment apart with you, put it all back together, and start the next great read by your side. But what if we told you that now there's someone who will?
I'm Brooke.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Elena.
And we're the High Ladies of the Book Court. Let's read your next favorite book together. Hi, everybody. We are here to finally discuss the what I think was an amazing ending to Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood, which I realized I just kept calling it Crescent City this whole time, and it was like, no, it's got a subtitle, so it's the first one by Sarah J. Maas. I have a lot of feelings, which I feel like I say at the beginning of almost all of our episodes, but a lot happened at the end of this book. Holy wow. I thought it'd be fun, like really quick, just to say like, how do we feel about the end? Like, I'm a definite, this is 5 stars all the way. Read this book. I know a lot of people, and us included, it took a while to get to where we were like, hands down, I'm going to finish this and I love it, page turner. But I don't know who wouldn't enjoy this as a read. It's amazing.
So amazing. I would also give it 5 stars.
I also give it 5 stars, but I'm also waiting for the episode that starts with Brooke saying, I have no feelings about this section.
Yeah, someday we'll read a book where I'll be like, meh, I don't know, it was all right. I don't have a lot to say.
4 out of 10. Could be better, could be worse.
The random book that is out of 10 stars instead of 5. We're like, I don't know, this one needed to be 10.
I want to see what Brooke is a 1-star 1-star book.
I'd have to think about books that I haven't liked in the past. But yeah, I mean, I think we've realized that Sarah J. Maas doesn't really do any wrong, too much wrong. She's not perfect, but this book was amazing. I loved it. And we kind of all read it together at the end, which was fun. And was just an explosion of a lot of emotions and crying and just shock, awe. It was really good. I loved it.
It was jam-packed. I couldn't even stop to take notes because I had to keep going to find out what happened.
Yeah, even just like so many of the theories that we've been coming up with throughout reading this book, like I feel like some of them happened, some of them didn't happen, and then like 20 additional things happened that I would have never even anticipated, and just things kept happening, and I was like, what crazy roller coaster have I signed up for? This is insane and awesome all at the same time.
I think we ended the last episode with Bryce killing Micah.
Yeah.
Well, that all happened. We've recapped that. We don't need to go into how victorious Brooke felt about that moment.
I could celebrate that for another 30 minutes, but we won't.
So we ended on Bryce going out and realizing the gates had opened, and you guys didn't really have a strong idea of what that meant yet and what Bryce was walking into.
Yeah, and I think I remember, and I don't know if I articulated this in our last episode, but I was thinking maybe a small portal opened, because I felt like most of the plot had occurred. Like all the cool stuff had already happened. So to me, I was feeling like Bryce and Hunt are going to team up. closed small portal, like maybe a near-death experience. It'll be cute. They'll realize that they definitely love each other. End of book. And then things just kept happening. And I was just like, how? How is all of this happening?
Right. I think I also thought that too. I didn't realize it was multiple portals.
All the portals. Literally every gate became a portal. And if any of you guys have seen the map at the beginning of the book, which I highly, I'll open it. I highly suggest. Actually, I just bought the paperback and I don't know if, it is in there. All right, try and, but like, this thing is so beautifully detailed.
Mm-hmm.
And you see all those portals. Well, not portals, they're gates in the city. Every single one became a portal to hell.
Mm-hmm. I just realized it looked like a star too.
Well, that kind of comes up. But yeah. It was great.
Do you guys have more thoughts on Hell as because I feel like previously we had met the demon princes from Hell, and the vibe is, oh, they're not that bad. He seems cool, a cool cat boy. But now that the portals have been opened, and I feel like I don't remember if there's a direct insinuation that at least the princes from Hell didn't stop the low-level demons from going through.
Yeah, I forget how they kind of wrapped that up at the end, but it seemed like maybe Catboy, whose name I'm now forgetting. Adis.
Yeah.
That maybe he didn't really have too much to do with it, but his other brothers, who we definitely sort of surmised were baddie bads, did, or at least stood aside while their pets scampered out the cat door into Lunathian. But yeah, no, I was nervous about them to begin with, and I hope we're gonna get more about them in book 2. But
yeah, because we don't know which princes were involved, and I think so far in Blood and Earth, I forget the title. That's the thing for Crescent City.
Earth and Blood. Yeah.
Earth and Blood. Thank you.
House of Earth.
That we only met. Well, we met the one Catboy, and we heard about the other one, but then that's it. I don't know who else princes are. So yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing.
There are 7
more in the next book. 7. Wow.
Yeah, and they just mentioned a couple of the others and how bad they were, but
that's bad.
I don't think that it was
how cool Hell is and how fun that's gonna be if that ever comes back.
It's got to. But now we have confirmed portals to other worlds, which is cool, and crossover-y, which I'm excited about. Get on the crossover train.
No. It's to Hell.
I know. I'm just saying there's potential. There's a lot of really great potential now to travel to other worlds.
I'll see it when I believe. I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll see it when I believe it.
I'll also believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I didn't read any of it as crossover-y.
You really? Really? All right. We'll have that discussion in a different episode. But
we'll have that discussion in a later episode, but I had no thoughts of crossover throughout this book.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, the demon princes seem sus. Just letting their friends and smaller demons wreak havoc. How badass was Bryce throughout the end of the book?
So badass. So self-sacrificing.
Yeah, again, and I feel like I'm probably going to say this 20 more times, but I just wasn't expecting everything that was packed into the end of this book. So when Bryce just pops out of the antiquities dealer and is literal hell has been unleashed on the city, she just straps on all of the knives and takes Hunt's guns and is just I got this, no problem, and starts running through the city, getting people, telling them to get into the safe houses that have like a 1 hour time limit, I think, before they like self-close to save the people in the city. And she just starts like taking off in a random direction, which we find out what it is later. But I was like, girl, you are very squishy. Like, not immortal. Please be careful.
I
She's
feel
she's always like that though.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the club explosion, and I'm sure there was other scenes too, but that one stick out the most.
Yeah.
One of the times when she goes into not what's it called where the Viper Queen is. Hello,
Okay.
it's the episode where Elena can't remember any of the details.
It's the meat market.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I feel like if Hunt had been there, he would have killed her for how she had absolutely no self-preservation.
Yeah, he would have been upset. And I mean, was upset since he was at the comitium and they're all like kind of still watching this go down, like from when they were watching it go down in the antiquities dealership. Like, I forget if they're like basically on like CCTV, but they're keeping an eye on her. She's like running through the city, saving people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deck and his hacking computer skills.
Yeah, right. Declan is the one that's like getting up the feeds so people can see what she's up to.
I
But yeah,
like
she just
how he was just like connecting to like other people's like private calls. They're like, oh, you're on a call. Let me connect you so that everyone can hear.
yeah. I mean, that was like the best part though, that back and forth. But yeah, our girl Bryce, super squishy, half fae, half human, runs off to like the poor district of Lunathian to go save all the humans, which I was like, of course you are. And just like blasting demons left and right.
Brooke, I feel like throughout this entire book, you've been very strongly opinionated about the leadership of Lunathon and whether or not rebellion is necessary. Did how the city's leadership dealt with this event your opinion?
I have to say, I mean, they definitely proved me right. And then some. Like, I mean, I knew they were evil and bad and needed to be overthrown. But when it became obvious that the only help that was coming was like the Asteri forces were coming to basically nuke the city to hide the fact that anything had ever happened, I was like, oh my God. But of course, this is what's happening. And I was happy on the one hand because I was like, okay, like this is a very clear line in the sand plot-wise. Like the second book has got to be about how we take down these guys. Like it's got to be. But made me very nervous.
But they let Bryce and Hunt keep living their lives. They just said, don't bring attention to yourselves, but you get to keep living. That's
right.
Well, but they still tried to nuke the city.
Yeah, and I think like obviously they were trying to cover up everything that had happened, especially Bryce and her part in it. And then when they couldn't cover it up because Hunt saved her life and she became all powerful and saved the whole city, I don't really think they had much of a choice, right? Because like everybody now knows about Bryce and Hunt. So you can't really just like make those two people who like I think are basically at least two of the most powerful like 5 people in all of Lunathian, if not the 2 most powerful. So what are you going to do as an evil overlord? You're going to write them a letter or something. They somehow get in touch with them and are like, hey, just, lie low and don't do anything with your really cool powers and we won't kill everyone you.
So threatening.
So I'm excited for book 2, which has to somehow at least start the let's take down the Asteri because that's just long overdue.
Mm-hmm. We knew they were bad.
Yeah.
And you were right.
I was. Yeah. And luckily, neither Bryce nor Hunt died in the awful bomb-pocalypse of Lunathian. But I was very worried.
They both pretty much died at different
Right.
points.
Yeah. They basically both kind of died, but didn't.
That's true.
Well, the reason they didn't is a lot in part because Bryce made the drop. And I remember a while ago you guys were theorizing that it was going to be Hunt that was her anchor. Which it wasn't. I feel like it's even cuter having it be Danica as her anchor. Like I remember that moment being like heart-wrenching and so sad and like also so happy and so many things.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was even better than Hunt being her anchor in just some sort of like weird, not weird, but like I thought it was going to happen sort of as like an afterthought. Like everything's been wrapped up, basically like an epilogue almost.
Yeah.
This was so much better. Basically like Danica coming back from the dead or, like calling across from the bone quarter to be her anchor and giving Bryce that piece of like afterlife soul that Bryce gave to her so that she could make it back to the world of the living. It was really sweet.
Yeah, I was surprised that I wasn't Hunt, but I'm glad how it ended up. That was sweet.
Yeah, I just never thought Danica was an option, right? Because
Yeah, right.
he did.
Like, okay, if it's not Hunt, then maybe Rune.
Right. Yeah. And like that would have been cute for other reasons too. But yeah, Elena, as we were all reading it together, I don't know if it was like during that moment or sometime after, but I kind of remembered, I think during one of our previous episodes, you were like, oh, like Danica's her anchor. And I was like, no, it wasn't like the plan wasn't for Danica to be her anchor. It was for Connor to be her anchor. And then what's his face, other dead wolf guy to be Danica's anchor. And then later I was like, oh, Elena totally slipped. They had no idea.
Might be.
No, because it was extra funny looking back. Like there was never a time where I thought like Danica's dead essence was going to be her anchor.
Who would have thought?
Just an example of why I need to reread it when you guys read book 2.
Yeah. Yep. It's hard. It's hard to like remember back to the book. Even like we just finished this like a couple weeks ago and I'm still like, wait a minute, what's this book? What's this book? What's this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like another thing with the drop scene is I like and I feel like it's the entire last part of the book, but the fact it keeps switching back between people watching her and then like what's actually happening and getting the commentary. I just always find the commentary of like them watching her drop. So like I feel like that it's just also like it adds to it. Where I forget who it is, but they're like she's not gonna make it. Like no one makes it back from like she's still going down. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's like the Autumn King and Declan and Hypaxia. And did Therian go with them on the helicopter? I think he's still there. I can't remember. But it's the people like in that sterile conference room still that like most of them are rooting for her. And yeah, they're just like watching her plummet on this like tracker that Declan has of how deep she's going. And they're like, oh, there's no way she's going to come back. And I mean, I was worried. I kind of felt like main character, she's probably not going to die, but I wasn't sure. I was like, this is getting scary. Like, how is she gonna survive this? Because they kept saying like a dead person can't be an anchor. They were like, she basically is doing the drop alone. She thinks Danica is anchoring her. And it's like that little extra bit of soul that Danica gives her at the end that like helps get her back.
Yeah, well, now Danica's dead. R.I.P. Bone Quarter.
Extra dead.
Shit.
Yeah. But that was cute.
Yeah, the commentary from the summit, it felt a little influential because it's like, oh, but if they're saying this, then it must be true.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like a part of you, she is the main character. She has to live. Like she has to. So that she and Hunt could be together.
So I feel like them doubting her just made it more epic. Like I felt like I was watching a legit movie scene while I was reading it. It was just like, it kept flashing back to them being
Yeah.
like, there's no way, there's no like precedent for this working. She's definitely dead. And just like when she makes it back up and then like they watch her like rise back up through the depths of the drop and she's just like, she's slightly more powerful than the Autumn King, right? Or like point 0.1. Yeah.
Like
And
slightly.
just like watching him like just him burn like as that is happening was amazing, and then just like her using her powers to just save everybody that was still like alive in the city and bring the city literally like repair the buildings with her power. It was just like, oh, so badass, so badass.
So amazing.
Meanwhile, the Autumn King just sits and does science experiments with his power.
I hate him.
Yeah, do you think he's gonna take it well? Like, how do you think it's gonna, like, their relationship's gonna develop? Do you think he's gonna be all of a sudden be like, all I wanted was a powerful child and now I have one? Or do you think he's gonna be like, this is a threat, I need to get rid of it? Like, maybe it doesn't matter? But I feel like it does, because she kept it a secret from him. I love when he calls Ember.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, Ember giving him everything he deserves was so great. Oh, I love her. Like, can we just talk about how much we love Bryce's mom? She's amazing.
She just reminds me of every other mom, and maybe it's just maybe because I have mommy issues or something, but I'm just like, oh, this overbearing mom. Yep, I know that one.
No, she's so kick-ass. Like, it's fun seeing like where Bryce got it from, basically. Like, you could think that it's like her sniper trained dad, but it's her mom. It's her badass mom. But yeah, as far as the Autumn King goes, I am still feeling like there's a potential for Bryce to become like the heir to his seat. It At this point, it just doesn't seem like either Bryce or Rune really want that. So I don't know. I see like his options either being ignore her and hope that she goes away, or I could totally see him being like, Rune, I don't like you, which he's said multiple times. Like, I'm replacing you with this more powerful sibling. Sorry, bye. But I don't like him. I don't trust him. He's gross.
Hey, he is gross. And he cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Maybe
I feel like a lot of like him and leadership, like everyone with some kind of like higher power is just gonna try and save Faith.
Yeah.
Because she's a demi-fae or like, half human, half fae, and she just saved the entire city. And she's not even full-blooded.
And she has the knowledge that the Asteri tried to nuke, or I mean, they did. They nuked the city. So,
right.
And I think that people like the Autumn King and other people in power are going to take like their action from the Asteri. And it seems like the Asteri want to treat it as, let's sweep it under the rug and keep Bryce and Hunt quiet about what actually happened by threatening their lives and the lives of all the people they care about. So. Yeah, I don't know. It could get really ugly, but we'll see. Something's got to happen in the second book, right?
True. I mean, or they could just live. This could be a standalone. They just live happily ever after as a cute couple now that the threat is over.
It's a big book.
Brooke, hold up that book. How long do you give it until you get a Hunt and Bryce like hookup scene?
So are we going to talk about that now? Like predictions for book 2?
No. Okay, before we talk about predictions for book 2, I feel like we were kind of leading into that. I do want to cover one more thing, which is Ethan coming in to help Bryce. I feel like that's another important scene and like relationship to touch on, because before this, they essentially haven't really been talking because he's mad at her for reasons we've covered. But then he comes in and disobeys direct orders to help her save the humans. Him and like it's not just him, it's him and like a whole pack of wolves, I think.
I think it's basically like the wolves that are under him because he's the alpha of that group. So they kind of have to listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
But
So does that make up for how he acted the rest of the book? Do you
I think it helps him kind of like start to repair their relationship. I don't know if they'll just go straight back to being like buddy buddies again. I think it's gonna take some time.
yeah, I think back to episode 1 where I'm pretty sure I said that like Ethan is the one that I thought she'd end up with, like right at the beginning. Just from their like cute text messages, you could tell that they were really close and they like had a really strong relationship. And then, got the rug pulled out from under me and was like, just kidding, this book isn't anything about what I thought it was going to be about. And it was very obvious very quickly that he hated her and wasn't going to be that person. But I think there needs to be more for them to get their friendship back on track. But I think it's a really good start. I mean, he's put himself in some, at least like some sort of ill standing with the wolves by what he's done, I'm sure. So
Yeah,
he
it's like
took,
this is sorry.
yeah. No. I was just going to say he took a huge risk by doing what
Yeah.
he did. And like, I don't know what will come from that, but not only did he come to her aid, but basically like kind of turned his back on Sabine and was like, what you're telling me to do isn't right. And I'm not listening to you, which is dangerous. She's dangerous.
Yeah, I think that was like his first real big moment of going against Sabine and the pack. Because when Emily was like kind of bullying Bryce, he didn't really do anything there either.
Yeah, he's been a huge asshole to Bryce, like right up until this scene. But he risked his life. He risked his standing in the wolf pack to be there for her. So my hope is that this is the start of the two of them at least like working on their relationship. They might not be able to be the friends they used to be, but I still really like Ethan. I don't personally agree with his reasonings for being mean to Bryce, but he does have them and they're legitimate as like a wolf shifter. So I can see how they could get back there.
so after that, who's worse, Sabine or the Autumn King? Like if you could only do your death dance for one of them.
If I could only use my powers for good once. I'm gonna say the Autumn King, only because I feel like he is more quietly dangerous, and I don't know what his reactions are going to be to Bryce's power. Um, Whereas Sabine, I feel like, is like slightly more removed in how she can mess up Bryce. But yeah, it's hard because Sabine has clearly made things awful for her.
I had to pick parent figure. I would choose Sabine over the Autumn King. Because
Sabine,
Sabine tried what was that?
just like as a parent figure.
As a parent figure. Because Sabine tried to protect Danica by like erasing all of that footage. Whereas Autumn King, like he'd shun one of his kids and then is trying to control both of them, like Rune and doing the like arranged marriage, and he's just like a real bad person.
No, you're totally right, Jamie. I wasn't even thinking about it like that because I do genuinely hate both of them. So it's hard sometimes to think about it rationally. But Sabine has proven to us that she was a good mom in her own way, like genuinely cared about Danica. Right. And I mean, again, like there's a lot of like qualifications to it. But I think when it comes down to it, you can see how Sabine has some humanity within her that could potentially come out and make her a better person, but I don't see that with the Autumn King, except for his one moment of like, I loved your mom, I promise. And it's like, no, you didn't, you ass. But yeah.
I still don't like. I still wouldn't redeem him over that little fact, and it was very one-sided.
Right. And he still did enough bad to make her leave and fear for Bryce, which I don't think she was wrong. So kill the Autumn King. I'll do my death dance now.
Remember when like we thought that Sabine killed Danica? At least I did.
I remember that being a theory.
But at the
one point.
time, she had the most to gain if she died.
That's in my list of your guys' theories.
I can't
Literally-
remember. Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Elena.
Go. This was only vaguely related. So if your thing is related.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
I was just going to read your theories from early August.
Oh God.
Please do.
Here are just some more theories. Oh, this was, I think, a text from Brooke. Either that or I wrote it down. I'm just going to call it and say Hunt will be Bryce's anchor when she drops. Could Bryce be Starborn too? 3 question marks. Danica's involved in the Horn's disappearance somehow, and I still think it's her mother. Her mother had something to do with Danica's murder, and thus the Horn. And then both of you... Oh, no, never mind. This is a theory about the next book.
The next book. We haven't gotten there yet. Oh. No, I was just going to say, did we discuss in the last episode Hunt getting his tattoo removed?
I think we did. Yeah.
Did we? It was so badass, we should talk about it again.
I could have sworn we did, but yeah.
Section.
Yeah. I mean, just in case we didn't talk about it, I just wanted to say, like, first of all, Hypaxia is the best, and I can't wait to get more of her. Like, we have to get more of her. And Hunt and Sandriel just, like, squaring off and Hunt coming out the victor. I was like, that's right. That's right, buddy.
It just shows that archangels aren't as powerful as they want everyone to think. Like, I still have a vague idea of how archangels become archangels, but it seems like you're born into it and not like a powerful angel. We're going to categorize them as an archangel now, which just seems wrong if Hunt is that much more powerful, but I don't know.
No, I have to say, I didn't actually think any of them would die, at least in this book. And we killed 2 of them. So,
yeah, I was really surprised about that.
Like, I'm worried about what the fallout is going to be from that, because obviously it's like, if 2 world leaders died, like, obviously they're going to be replaced, I would think. So hopefully it's not like, oh, we got rid of 2 really awful people and now we're going to have 2 even worse people. But yeah,
there's 6 more. There's 6 more.
Oh, maybe they'll shuffle them. Maybe they'll like.
There are 8 archangels?
I have no idea how many archangels, but
but
I was referring to the Asteri.
Oh yeah, there are 6. I don't think they are. Like, I think they're more powerful than.
Oh yeah, the Asteri are definitely more powerful, and we haven't successfully killed one of them yet. But hopes for
they've
next
also never appeared in person. Like at the summit, they were all like on screens,
being weirdos.
It's always sus when someone won't show up in person. Like, why do you have to stay in your room, sir? Why can't you join everyone else? What's happening there?
What if they're like holograms and it's just like it's actually just one person?
Elena, they got work from home privileges. They don't want to commute into the office. They're going to zoom in.
They're the CEO. They don't have to go.
Yeah, they're like, can everybody hear us? We're going to share our screen real fast so we can go over what this summit's all about.
I personally like Jamie's they're just simulations theory.
That'd be cool.
Who's running them from behind?
Yeah, it's like Dorothy and what's that? The Green Wizard, right?
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Who's that green wizard?
Wasn't he green?
Yeah, the like phantom head.
Yeah, I think it could be like that.
It could be. We don't know. We haven't seen them in person. We don't know what's up with them.
No, we only met the one, and then Regulus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryce a call.
Yeah, we haven't even really met him either, but maybe it's just him.
And he was like described as like a skinny, lanky kid looking.
So easy to kill. Lightning, light, done.
Well, we do know a demon prince killed one of them. So
Yes.
it's possible they can be
It is.
killed.
You do have a friend, Demon Prince, maybe.
Phone a friend.
Maybe the demon. Because here's a theory for book 2. Maybe the demon princess will work with the rebellion or Bryce and Hunt, and they take down the Asteri.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Or
no way Bryce and Hunt just like keep their silence for, I would guess, even a third of the book. Like they've got to realize that they've got to do something.
yeah,
Maybe
they can try to be. They can try to live normal lives, but I think they're just so involved. It's gonna be hard just to stay back and watch things fall.
Sorry, just
And I
wanted
don't,
some.
and I don't think Bryce will just like let it happen, like let it all happen.
Yeah. Elena's making sure to write down all of our ridiculous theories so that she can shove them in our face when we start book 2. Like, you guys were wrong.
How wrong do you feel about things you didn't know about?
So wrong. So
Hunt
wrong.
and Bryce are gonna kiss immediately after.
Yeah. Can I just say that that was when I was crying the most, was after Hunt propelled himself out of a helicopter as I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, maybe he's got a plan. He's gonna find something and it's gonna be fine. He's gonna stop the bomb. But no, he just uses his body to cover her to stop the bomb blast and like loses his legs. I lost my mind. I was just like, there's no way.
They can grow back.
Right, but like literally in the scene, like the people that are watching, because the like Declan and his feet are still watching, and they're like, oh, like there's no way he gets back from that. Like, because especially like they had talked about how the bombs that they used slowed the regenerative powers of the Vanir. So they're like, it doesn't look good. And just tears. I was like, oh my God, there's no way he makes it out of this. Like, what am I reading? Why did I do this? Whose suggestion was this book? But he lived.
Interesting. I don't remember tearing up or crying over Hunt because I think back in my head I'm like, there's no way he's gonna make it somehow. But I did cry over Lava.
Who's not dead either.
We don't know that.
He's not dead. I will stand by this until I'm presented a small fire sprite body.
Yeah, I think I was with Jamie. I think I also just was like, there's 0% chance. No way can Hunt be dead right now. I do. Yeah, I know.
I think I was just worried. This book has some really serious ramifications. Like, I also wasn't expecting both Micah and Sandriel to die. So just like, okay, like sometimes main characters just have to die and then we move on. But I was very sad.
Especially now that there's new male love interest.
Yeah, I just hope that none of them actually end up happening. Like, she and Ethan can be friends. I'm no longer interested in that happening. Arian can go find somebody himself. Whoever else is out there can just they can leave.
Ethan seems more like the cute little brother.
Yeah. Like they were good friends before. I don't think it's gonna be them.
Well, wasn't there also a hot sec where you thought Rune and Bryce were going to be a thing, and then you find out he's her brother?
Well, yeah. I mean, because I think aesthetically, Rune is probably more my type. But yeah, you guys both know that until recently, I was really bummed because I didn't like how the first book ended, without Hunt and Bryce at least being like, "I love you. We should be together forever." Never mind like other scenes other than the couch scene. But you know that I thought that this book was all going to be about Rune, and then I bought it and I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, that's not Rune. Those are angel wings.
Where did that come from, by the way? Like, I don't remember anyone saying that book 2 was Rune's book.
I started saying it one day and was like, it was going to be Rune's book, and then I would be like, do you want to know? And she'd always be like, don't tell me. I know it's Rune. I don't want it to be.
It's like,
So-
where did this come from?
You guys know that I'm not the best at taking in physical descriptions and then logging them into my brain. So I had gotten
But you're really good about scents and smells of characters.
Yes,
like
I
you,
know.
I that's a really good trait. I feel like I pay attention a little bit more to the physical descriptions because it just like helps make it up in my head. But yeah, you have a really good eye about the scents, and I'm just like, okay, they smell good, thanks.
Yeah, no, like Hunt smells like cedarwood. Yeah, no, I got that
Yeah,
part of the way.
I
Don't you
don't
worry.
remember that. I like.
But you guys know, so you know this about me. So I had gotten it in my head that Hunt's hair was brown. I don't know how. I don't know how this got into my brain. And I just remember, Elena, you showing us your copy of Sky and Breath. And I looked at it really quickly and I knew that Rune had really long black hair and just didn't look close. Like I knew he had tattoos and black hair. Assumed it was Rune. You didn't
Do you
correct me.
remember?
The shaved, yeah. But
Yeah,
again,
the shaved head.
I mean, the thing is like this also isn't exactly what Bryce looks like either. Like it's a very like artistically styled version. So I just didn't look closer, made the assumption that after this first book we were going to Rune's POV and like his love story. So I was already upset because Hunt and Bryce's love story didn't end satisfactorily in my opinion, and I wanted more. And then I was worried. I was real worried about the POV of book 2.
Okay, to be honest, I don't know who exactly the first cover is supposed to be. I mean, I assumed that it was
It's Bryce.
Bryce, but it's so yeah, like you said, it's so artistic that like you
Yeah.
can't really tell. It could be anyone really.
Yep.
And then book 2, I think, I feel like Brooke, you're not the only one who has guessed or just assumed that it was Rune's book. I think someone I know has also thought that,
Mhm.
and I just never really like. Not that I didn't correct them, I just didn't know. But I'm just like, okay, sure, like that'll happen if it happens. But did
Yeah.
you read the description of book 2 at all, or have you? So maybe that's like maybe it hinted there, and that's why people assumed that it was Rune's book.
Yeah, I don't know. The way that I figure is like if I had read the first book before the second book came out, I wouldn't know, right? So I'll leave it. I'll leave it until I start. But yeah, I hope that we get more of them. And Rune. I want all of it.
Okay.
More of everything.
We kind of got the theories for the next book, but do we have any more like definitive, defined theories for book 2? Other than the fact it's not only about Rune.
Can't be.
Oh, we don't think it's gonna work out with Hypaxia and Rune. Even I mean from the summit, like she kind of shut him down. Do you think we'll see them together?
I still think so. I think that I mean, I love that Hypaxia was like, yeah, I'm not like I don't really have time for marriage right now. So like if you could go do something else and leave me alone, that'd be great. I was like, yes, I am here for that energy. And I mean, I think that if this more heavily focuses on Rune, I'm hoping that it's gonna be like okay, well, now I've seen this beautiful woman who is obviously very accomplished and also doesn't want me, and now I want what I can't have. And I hope it's just like Rune being like, no, like we should court each other. And she's like, sorry, I've got something to do. If you could like leave a message on my voicemail or something.
It does seem very Faye-like to want something that you can't have and then to go all out and try to get it. But it does feel very one-sided because we hear Rune's side on like how he feels about the arrangement. He didn't even want it at all in the first place. And then not knowing that it was her. But like reading her lines, it didn't seem like she was interested in him at all. Just that
Not at
like
all.
they can work together. Yeah, I can help you figure out what this demon thing is going on, but other than that, like this is all platonic. At least that's my vibe when I read it from her.
Oh, absolutely. And he's got a huge crush. He's like trying to play it cool, but he's like,
Right.
yeah.
Even
I heard,
before he found out that she was hypaxia. He's
yeah,
like, oh, this girl's beautiful.
I'm pretty sure she smells like lavender and juniper, lavender and green tea. I
I
mean, I
don't remember.
check. Definitely lavender. That's how I know. When Sarah gives me a scent profile, I'm like, this one's gonna
What
do
is
something.
Hunt's scent profile?
He's
And
cedarwood.
do you remember Bryce's?
Bryce doesn't have one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Although, like, Hunt, I think, has mentioned multiple times that he likes how she smells, but I don't think he's described it. Although now I'm going to need to go double check.
Yeah. And does Rune have one?
I don't think so. Because I don't
Keep
think we've seen
an
a
eye
POV.
out in the next book.
Yeah, I think it's because you learn of like what someone smells like through the point of view of the person who's digging them, and I don't think we've like,
That's
read the
true.
point of view of
Yeah.
anyone who like has a crush on Rune yet. It's just Rune in the back of his mind going, I smell really good, like Axe body spray today.
That's true. He doesn't seem that full of himself, I don't think, right?
No, he really doesn't come off as like super full of himself.
No.
But you
I,
saying
I
that,
do remember like he has like all these tattoos and like the piercings and the hair as a way to go against his father.
yeah,
Is what I remember.
yeah, it's a way to be a rebel.
Be like,
But
F you, Dad.
yeah, now that I'm thinking about Rune's scent profile, I'm really excited by the idea that we might get some hypaxia POV because I would love to like just know what her brain is like.
Do you want to know?
No, I don't want to know. No spoilers, Elena.
No comment.
No comment.
Interesting theories. I feel like it's interesting that you're both on different sides of will Rune end up with hypaxia. Any other thoughts, like our Hunt and Bryce endgame?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to ask. Okay, moving
Are they
on.
soulmates? I
Wait.
hope so. Do they do soulmates?
Why are you asking? Why are you asking?
It's a common question in all our book series
She had a
readings.
really evil look in her eye, Elena.
Elena, what do you know? Don't tell us. Don't tell us.
Guys, why do we keep reading books where it's not clear who ends up with who and they can't just say that they love each other?
Why do we read series that haven't been finished yet?
That's another good question. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Let me think. So, and also general theory is that the next book is going to be about taking down the Asteri, or at least learning about how the Asteri. I can't talk to it. How the Asteri are bad, and potentially working against them in some form of rebellion way. Even though Hunt just tried the whole rebellion thing and it didn't go well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's probably where the overall plot is going, and I think that's probably where we're going in book 2 is Bryce and Hunt realizing that they can't just keep quiet and allow them to, blackmail them. Basically, they've got to do something, but there's got to be something that's going to push them to it, and that's what I don't know what that is at this point.
I have a question. in Hunt's rebellion, with Shahar, like I know they had obviously like the angels that followed them, and there were the sprites. I remember Lahaba saying that they were involved, but were the humans involved in that one too?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Interesting.
I think it's this rebellion, like the current one that's going on in
It's just
Pandera, or
humans.
like the
Oh.
other continent, I think, that they
Yeah,
keep referring to.
Pandera. Yeah,
It seems
I
like
would
it's
like to
mostly
see
humans.
more on that side. I think that'd be really cool. And also, if there were another rebellion, I feel like it has to be bigger. It has to have more people involved that believe in the greater good and everyone should be equal, and like not just the angels and the sprites, but like also the humans. And if they all work together, they can take down the Asteri.
Yeah, well, right now the only people that are really like keeping up a rebellion over in the other continent are like the squishiest people.
I
They've got
know.
no magic. Like I don't even know how they're doing it. But
Right.
yeah, to me it's like it's a very easily contained rebellion. And I don't know if like Hunt and Bryce are gonna somehow start something or join them, or if that's like 2 books from now, but something has
Well,
got to
definitely-
push them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a squad TM.
Oh,
Like it can't just be Hunt and Bryce versus the world. They need,
yeah.
which I feel like they started getting in book 1, but I guess you'll see how it goes in book 2.
Yeah. It was sort of like a mini experiment that Bryce didn't know she was performing. Like she had some wolf sleeve, she had some elves, not elves, fairies. There are no elves here. Fairies leave and join her. So I think that yeah, we could be going toward that direction. The Asteri got to go.
That's the main goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Free world for all.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down as an official theory.
Free world for all.
You heard it here, folks.
Yep. And then eventually, like, Leheba is going to come in on, like, her valiant fire sprite steed, leading all of the other sprites, and they will take everyone down. I don't know where she is right now, but she's putting in the time to help the rebellion. She went right there. She's super alive.
You think she would just let Bryce think she was dead for this long?
Yes. She's got her reasons, and I can't wait to hear what they are.
We're getting flashbacks. What did she say? My friends are behind me, or something like that. Get teary-eyed just thinking about it.
But it's fine because she's still alive. She's coming back,
Any
baby.
last
I don't
minute
know.
or thoughts on how book 1 ended into book 2?
I need more Bryce and Hunt. And I will go on air right now and say they are endgame, and I will die in a theoretical sense if they're not.
Same. They've gone through so much together in
Yeah.
book 1.
They're
Yeah.
perfect for each other.
Yeah. They clearly want each other. They just need to say it now.
Right. Bryce's mom needs to stop calling at inopportune times.
But you just love Ember.
I do love her, but she needs to go to voicemail occasionally.
Such a mom thing.
Such a mom thing. Mom, why are you calling me right now? You're throwing off my vibe. Yeah. Can't wait.
Okay. Well, I feel like that wraps up book 1 then, and we can move on to book 2.
Can't wait.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, join us for book 2, guys.
Yeah.
Woo! Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.